Okay, we are live.
This is Hacks Chats, ladies and gentlemen. This is the show where Taylor and I come to you live from Hack Shack Studios. That's the studio where we work, right?
It is. It's the studio we work, live, and
pray.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
I was gonna say play, but it's mostly work.
Yeah.
This is play or work?
I said pray.
Oh.
To the altar of Jack and Stan.
Ooh.
Yes. I'm Artie Bear. I'll be the artist that's going to be drawing for you. And as always, the talented and amazing Taylor Grasso.
That's me. I'll be reading your chat today, but you're tuning in for the WonderCon recap. As told by me and Art, a 35-year vet in the field who knows his stuff.
That's me.
That is you.
That is me. You know, I just realized I'm a little tired. How about you?
I'm a little tired as well.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the con overall?
Are we going to get right into this?
I'm just thinking, like, when you're tired, you're honest because you don't have patience.
Oh, no. You hit me with an honesty question.
So, like, as far as WonderCon's past.
As their history.
Yeah, like, how many WonderCons have you attended?
Almost all of them since they've come to Anaheim. So I think I missed one, maybe two. And they're all different, and most cons are different. This one was absolutely amazing. It's in the top 3 of my con experiences. I had a ball, and all the people coming out and saying hi. We much appreciate it. It makes things so much cooler and fun for us, and all the signatures, and we got to talk up Black and White, and we got to introduce to the world Taylor Grasso in a big way.
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool, and we got some people in the chat. We got Kyung, we got Sarah Whiskey, and we got D. Geekart, who were all at the con as well, who came by and supported us. Hey, you guys.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, it was very cool, and everybody there got to get a first look at some Black and White pages that I don't think we've ever shown anywhere before.
Yeah, we brought, I think, all the pages. So if you were lucky enough, you got to see the whole book up to this point. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. A lot of good feedback, and I don't know, it's always fun because 35 years, you get stuff like I was getting that Aqualad, that Teen Titans Spotlight, and old Warlord stuff, and just things from like my first year in comics, all the way to like highlights of the Adventures of Superman run I did with Dan Jurgens, X-Men with Jim Lee, Will Spartaccio, all the way up to Black and White, and even stuff that we did through Kickstarter, Taylor, like the Oodles book, the art book, which is now available. We have 200, less than 200 now, books available.
Less than 50, I think.
Probably, yeah. Of the Oodles book that we brought into the IndieGoGo campaign. And so we were previewing that, trying to get people on board. And, this was the most fun yesterday. I'm probably jumping around you guys, but that's kind of the way my brain works. Remember yesterday we were like, we were like one book away from 59K for the Black and White IndieGoGo.
That's right.
And so we were like, okay, the next one that pledges a book, because we were taking pledges right there at the con. Taylor's awesome with the technology, so she knew how to work all this stuff out. So we were like, you get one print. You get one of every print that we had at the table if you put us over or at 50K or over. And so this one guy is like, oh, okay. And so we got his pledge at the table and everything. And so amazingly enough, I'm putting the prints together, like one of each one. Oh my gosh, it was well over $200 worth of prints, and the stack,
that was the bargain of the day, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
That was like getting an art book in and of itself.
I know. And then I think we had 2 other people that wanted to help us out, but had to go to, what did they have to do? Go to the teller, or?
They had to go outside or something to use the Wi-Fi, because, fun fact, the WonderCon Wi-Fi, I bought a pass so it was easier to use, but it was like a limited pass. But, people need to log into their IndieGoGos to order books, which, by the way, is really easy. If you don't have an IndieGoGo account, you can create one just by making your first purchase. But they had to go outside to access the Wi-Fi and stuff, so they couldn't instantly do it.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So then they come back and they're like, "Here's my backer number," and I'm like, "But we're already after. We already did the 59K," and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Okay." So here's $200 for the prints. I think we gave 3 people $200 worth of prints. Because 2 of them came back later, right?
By then, too, we were like well over 59. We were at like 59,300. So those print costs, they pretty much got paid for by but
The good thing is, usually I come close to selling out the prints. This year, a lot of them were completely sold out. So, as anybody who does these shows and carries a lot of stuff with them, it's always great when you sell a lot of your inventory because it makes it easier to carry it back home. So it was pretty light. It was a lot lighter than we came with. Yeah.
Quite a lot of people bought prints, and like what was cool is I noticed a lot of people were casually buying prints too. Like there wasn't like a whole bunch of looky-loos. There were people just kind of walking up and being like, okay, like I'll take this, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a great show on a lot of levels. And as soon as we walked in Friday morning, where did we come in? Around Hall B?
Yeah.
I think it was B or somewhere between A and B. And, excuse me, I just had lunch. My beans are coming up on me. I got some beans coming up. Too much information. Yeah, and when we came in, there were a lot of vendors selling original artwork and a lot of comic book vendors. And that makes my heart sing because a lot of these, especially in Southern California, they become multimedia or pop cons. Mm-hmm. So since we're so close to Hollywood usually takes these cons over, especially like San Diego Comic-Con. They take over, which we're going to get into because they're closing their doors, you guys. So
it's crazy after all these years.
Yeah, I'm not going to shed a tear because that con, since Hollywood's taken over, it's gone downhill as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, the old San Diego is dead.
Yes, it has been dead for a while. So anyway, yeah, this was cool because there was a lot of comic book vendors and there were a lot of artwork. People selling artwork and things like that. And so, I don't know, man, we sold a lot of Chrono books.
Yes.
We sold a lot of original artwork, and it was just great. It was great meeting all you guys, all the nice things you guys had to say. What was your highlight?
My highlight was... Well, first of all, by the way, yeah, we did do Gangbusters on Friday. Let me check with the chat real quick while I think of my favorite moment. So DGeek Art says, "Hey, I got a wicked con hangover. How about you guys?"
Yeah, I didn't think I had one until I started trying to talk right now.
And John Wood says, "People beware of the T-Bear jump scare because you made quite the impression on a Mike stream." I guess
there was a jump scare?
Did
I jump into frame or something?
Yeah, I guess it surprised everyone. And Ernesto Santoyo says, "Which print sold the best?"
It's always that Wonder Woman one with the red background. Yeah, that one. And I think this was the first con I brought the Poison Ivy print to.
It did well.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, I only had maybe 20 of them, and we didn't come back with any of them.
Yeah, they were going fast. People were also buying the, I don't think you've broken these out for a con in a while, because they're very limited. The Poison Ivy and Groot, the, like, limited prints.
Oh, the mini prints?
Yeah. They seemed like they were doing pretty well, too.
Yeah, we did good.
Okay, let's see. Oh, and Sierra Whiskey says, "I saw the word bubbles and the ... dots. Yeah, if you're at WonderCon, you had a chance to look at the lettered pages of black and white. You know what that means. These are no average ... dots.
Yes.
These are special ... dots.
You're gonna have to get the book to know what he's referencing. Those things have a name. We should know the name.
Ellipsis?
Okay.
Somebody said continuations, and I was like, the actual term is ellipsis, but
Yeah.
I guess a continuation makes sense because it's continuing speech, but
I think they both make sense.
yeah.
What if we combine the two?
My highlight was meeting... Hold on, I got a dramatic pause. My highlight was meeting these guys.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You guys, see the picture of Pixel and Sierra Whiskey? They look just like that in real life. You know how they say, like, the camera puts on weight? it doesn't. Not for those two guys. Like, look at... that's exactly what they look like, right, Taylor?
You couldn't miss them.
You couldn't miss them. That guy, you know, Sierra with the raccoon face.
I have it was really good to meet you guys. I have the stickers on my sticker wall at home.
You have a sticker wall?
It's what it is that sounds trashy, I know, but I have like a shelf that I like. It was the first shelving I built myself, and I have like the one side of it's completely covered in stickers. And Sierra Whiskey went over, like... Because I put every sticker I get on there, like, good and bad. But then the bad ones get covered by, like, ones I like. And I had some kind of, like, feminism one that some girl handed to me. And I put that down to, like, misrepresented. And then right after that, I just put the Sierra Whiskey on top of it.
Good.
Like, right in the middle of it. Because I was like, this is funny, but I don't want people to see this and get the wrong idea.
That sticker did double duty.
Yeah, it did.
Yes.
Is this Mike's infamous...
Wall
or
of prints.
famous wall of prints.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, on the far left, you know, Mike goes, he shifts between evil Mike and really, really sweet Mike. So in this photo right now, he's kind of a hybrid of the two.
He looks like he's standing on his toes.
Yeah, he's definitely shorter than I am. Yeah.
That was another, like, big thing to realize. Like, in person, like, man, Mike is so much shorter than Art.
Yeah, he's a dwarf.
It was weird.
He's a dwarf. and then Kyung Lee is the sweetest guy, and I don't usually say that about guys, but he really is. I don't know how else to say. Like, anything you say, oh, he's a really kind... Is that better? Sweet?
I don't know.
Kind?
Sweet fits his personality, though.
Sweet,
he really is
yeah.
a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a gentle giant.
What was cool... Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You know what was cool was... He didn't have a table, right?
No, he was bopping around.
But people were asking about him.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? He had these killer... When I say killer carts, I'm not kidding. They were two-sided. And I think, was it Matt Cost? No, it was Matt Weldon. Art, I think, on one side, and then his on the other.
Those are nice.
Of the Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb.
That's
yeah,
right.
They were awesome. They were black and white images, and they were printed really nice.
And then his signature was in like a metallic gold. It was really cool.
Yeah, they were very cool. So he was giving those out. And then the guy to my left, our right, is Matt Cosson.
Who's in the chat right now, by the way.
Matthew. That dude, you know what? He's almost to the sweet level.
Almost?
He's almost there. Yeah, I don't know him well enough to say he's a sweet man.
He has kind eyes.
He does have kind eyes. And his book is Agenda.
Ooh.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, Matt definitely had an agenda at that con.
What was it?
The agenda was to have fun.
Aww.
And to bring good comics back to the world.
And he did.
And he did. You know what? It looks weird because this is like Pixel's arm back here, but it kind of looks like Matt's got his hand on his hip. Like,
it looks like he's being very sassy.
He does.
I didn't notice that till you said it. Now I can't unsee it.
It's sassy Matt. And then Pixel, I'm not even kidding you guys. That's exactly what he looks like. He's got a gray face like that. And he's got like a tech monocle.
It was really cool.
And a headband. He's kind of like he's a futuristic guitarist from like Poison.
Ooh.
Because he's got the Poison headband.
You're right.
Yeah. Every rose has its pixel.
What is technology but poison to humanity? Am I right?
Ooh, I like that.
Let's put that in black and white somewhere. Our villain's tech-based, though, so I guess we can't.
I just realized something else. Okay, we always say that Kyung Lee is a big guy. Look at Pixel. Oh my gosh.
He's tall, isn't he?
He's a big dude.
They're the tank class.
Yeah.
I think that, if they are going to give you guys like a D&D class, they'd be like the barbarians. And then you'd either be a bard or a rogue.
I think Sierra's a rogue.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at that face. He's no good.
Would you prefer to be a bard or a rogue, Art?
I don't know what I like the word rogue. Like, he's a rogue.
And Mike would be a paladin. I don't know what Matt would be.
All I know is like orcs. Which one would be the orc?
Ooh, as far as like races, I don't know. I think Kyung would make a good orc because he's got like the beard and stuff.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking this guy right here with his back to us.
Oh, he's definitely like a halfling or something.
That's an orc halfling with a twist. Oh, he's got a Lone Star book. Do you see that? Look at that.
Oh, in action.
Right on top there, you can see the Lone Star logo.
That's awesome.
And I have no idea what's on Mike's shirt. It looks like a jam piece of all the CG books except, I don't know, black and white.
What the heck?
I know, Mike.
It's not right. We're first gen.
Yeah, we're first gen, man. Come on.
Hey, speaking of
Mike.
we should do a D&D night because Edwin says I call cleric, which I could totally see.
Man, you nailed it. As clear as day.
Apparently D&D is selling now. Actually, that would be a lot of fun.
Can you do one, like a virtual D&D game?
Yeah, I've played them before. We could do it on Google Hangouts. I want to be the DM.
The only thing is, that game is like Monopoly. It can take days.
I could write a short campaign.
Can we?
I don't know. Like, I've never done it. I've never DM'd one, but let us know in the chat if you'd want that to happen.
You guys would have to teach me how to play. I sat in, like, in the day when I was a kid, I sat in on, what do they call them, quests?
D&D seems...
Adventure?
A campaign?
Campaign, that's it.
D&D seems too nerdy for you. Art's the most non-nerdy, like, comic book person I've ever been around.
I don't know, man. I think I'm pretty nerdy.
I don't know.
I'm white and nerdy.
If you haven't gotten to D&D, you haven't crossed that line yet.
If you guys notice also in this picture, Mike is pushing me down. and actually, I think Pixel said that, no, maybe it was Sierra was saying that Mike was also stepping on my foot to kind of like keep me from lifting up off the ground.
Matt Cosson says Mike is standing on his toes.
He was.
Look at him.
Look.
I just pointed. I know you guys can't see. But...
Yeah, actually, I've been pointing at this photo.
I can't help it.
I can talk forever about this photo. I don't know. You guys, man, this is the most fun I've had at a show in a long time, and I think it's because of those 5 that we got to hang out with. Also, Eric Nienoltowski was there as well, but he wasn't there for the photograph. Yeah, and it's weird how this all came together because I think Matt just showed up just a minute before this photograph, and also I wanted to get Taylor into this photograph, but I don't know, we had some valuables at the table.
We had a lot of valuables at the table.
And I didn't trust anybody we were sitting with.
I liked guarding that table. It gave me purpose.
Yeah, but all the people that were sitting around us, they were eyeing all of our goodies.
They were. That girl that looked like Zoe Deschanel, she was up to no good.
She was, and her boyfriend that I tried to...
He was not friendly.
I know. I tried so hard.
He was kind of... I'm not going to talk trash about him, but he was not friendly because I tried to talk to him too, and he was like...
I like that Mike comes... He needed tape. Like, look at... Mike needs tape. Look at all that stuff. Like, Mike needs a whole crew. Mike
needed ink too.
Yeah. But Mike goes, like, do you got any packing tape or anything? And it's like, no. And so I asked that guy, I go, do you have any packing tape? And he reluctantly is like, yeah. And so he was just about to hand Mike, and then I go, I said, Mike, how much do you need? He goes, I need a lot. And then that guy pulled the tape back. He's like, well, then you get none.
That guy was so, like, if I was casting, like, a snooty guy in Artist Alley, like, he would be the guy to go to.
Yeah, and then we had Jeff.
He was cool.
Jeff was cool. And then we had our arch nemesis, who was Bjork. Tanya Bjork.
Oh, yeah, Tanya Bjork was across.
Yeah, she was eyeing us. Yeah.
Looking at us crossways.
I definitely know that her boyfriend or husband, if we would have left, they would have come and stole our stuff.
I mean, it's a good thing we never did, because those pages,
valuable.
He takes just the black and white book. The thing most valuable to us.
Well, you know what I did? Like, I had some of the layouts, the original layouts in that book.
Ooh.
And just before I packed it up in the car, I was like, oh no, what if that book gets lost? Because I don't have those scanned in. So I made Xeroxes of them.
Good call.
Before we left, yeah. So yeah, there was great response. The people there were awesome, except for Tanya Bjork.
Oh, I didn't ask you though. What was your favorite moment?
That's a joke, by the way. Tanya was okay.
Yeah, she didn't actually do anything.
Yeah, we like to storytell here.
We're just using her as a character.
Yeah.
The guy next to us though was kind of snooty.
He was a little snooty. I don't even know his name.
I don't either.
Yeah. That's how far the relationship got.
All I know
okay,
is...
you spend 3 days with people, and if you don't get their name, you know it's like it's a disconnect. Right?
All I know is people kept coming up and taking pictures with his girlfriend. Her artwork was pretty good, and he was just kind of whatever. I'm not going to trash talk him any further.
Oh, please do.
She was a little bit more professional than him, I think, on the level.
Yeah. Was she on the square?
She was on the square.
Was she on the level?
She was definitely on the level. Wait, what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was this photograph right here.
It was a good moment.
Yeah, it was a good moment. And then when Mike borrowed the ink, and then we got to have him do the pitch line.
Oh yeah, Higgins' new tagline.
The tagline that I quoted. I ran out of ink. An inker running out of ink, right? That's shameful. And so I realized that. And there's Art Supply Warehouse, which is a local art supply place here. And I've been going there since college, since I went to Golden West College in Huntington Beach. It's Westminster, I think. But I lived in Huntington Beach. And so they had set up there. And it was early Friday, right? It was before they opened. And I asked the guy, I was like, do you have any ink? He's like, yeah. And then he's like, pulling up all this no-name weird ink, and then he pulled up like the Higgins bottle, and like sometimes you just go with the brand you know, and I know that Higgins isn't great ink, but whoa, I did some good pieces with it though at the show.
I was gonna say.
And so then he hands it to me, and Taylor I didn't know she had the camera on, so she had the camera on. As soon as I turned, I had the bottle in my hand, and
like you're holding a perfume bottle or something.
Yeah, it was all like, what did I say? I said, Higgins, it'll do in a pinch. Like I was doing a commercial for it. And so then I guess you posted it, right?
I did,
on YouTube, and everybody's like quoting. And then later at the con, everybody's like, Higgins, it'll do in a pinch. I think we got Carl Alstetter to say it.
I know. There are more people I wish we had recorded saying it.
Yeah, and then I think we got Mike on camera, though, to say it, because Mike came over to borrow some ink, and I was like, here's some Higgins. And he made the Higgins face, like, oh.
And it did do in a pinch. Not with this piece, with this one.
Yeah, I did that with Higgins ink.
This is awesome.
But I'm glad I had the ink for Mike, but Mike was pouring my ink into his inkwell over the prints.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, put something under that, man.
And he bent a chrono book.
Did he?
He didn't really. It didn't leave a crease.
Oh, my gosh, Michael.
But I'm not going to lie, my heart was in my mouth when he was doing that. I wanted to be like, stop it.
Yeah. No, we had a lot of fun. Mike is a great guy. He's a fun guy. All those guys, man. It was really fun. But yeah, this was done with a pinch of Higgins.
It did in a pinch.
With a little pinch of Higgins.
And this is, of course, you guys, if you don't recognize her
Wonder Woman.
somehow.
That's Wonder Woman from the DC universe.
Who could it be? It's Elastigirl, which, by the way, doing that Google search made me realize it's spelled Elastigirl with an I. I thought it was Elastigirl with an A.
Elasti?
It's Elastigirl.
Okay. Is that... Okay, then who is the one from Doom Patrol? Is it Elasta, then?
Oh, maybe that's why this one's Elastigirl.
Yeah, maybe that's the technicality.
It's very confusing to me.
I think DC needs some better lawyers. They lost Captain Marvel and Elastigirl.
They didn't even fight for Captain Marvel, though.
They didn't even fight for Elastigirl.
I mean, if they would have been smart... The Incredibles really could have just been an animated Doom Patrol.
What if they just called her Rubber Girl?
Ew.
Stretch Lady.
I don't like either of those.
Stretchy.
I like just Stretch, though.
Remember we came up with a scenario at the con?
Ew, that was gross.
Elastigirl needs to get busy with
Mr.
Reed Richards.
No, I used to hate stretchy characters. back in the day for those exact visuals.
Okay, wait. Okay, in the chat, you gotta chime in. Okay, Elastigirl, Plastic Man.
Oh.
Elastigirl, Mr. Fantastic. What would be the perfect romance?
Isn't there another character? There's like I know there's a lot of starchy characters. There's like another one who was like a detective. Who was he? He had red hair.
Oh, no, Elastic. He was Elastic.
Is his name Elastic Man? Chat, let us know.
Oh my gosh. He's the guy that, like, they killed his wife or
yes,
something, right?
Exactly.
What is his name?
It's driving me crazy.
He had the rubber nose or something. They would always wiggle or something,
yes.
Right?
What is that character's name? Someone has to know in the chat. Detective Ginger. No, Andrew J.
Pick up a comic book.
Elongated Man.
Elongated.
Darth. Thank you, Darth Cisco.
If anything sounded like a porn name. Elongated Man. Something.
Ew, it is.
We don't want him to get busy with Elastigirl, though. That would just be wrong. Well, if we're being PC, what about Elastigirl on Elastigirl action?
That would be the ultimate. That's the only version that would sell. And be the least gross.
You know, right now somebody's like figuring out how to do like a crossover, like pin up or something.
That's the prequel, and she's like, remember when I used to ride a moped with a mohawk? She was going through like a crazy rebel phase.
Her rebel phase, yeah.
With those options, Elastigirl should just retire as a cat lady, says James.
Oh my gosh.
James also says, Mike doesn't play well with others' toys.
We forced him to.
Mike almost stayed at your house, didn't he?
That would have been a ball. Yeah.
You guys missed out. That would have been the ultimate live stream.
There's enough room here. It would have been fun because I think Friday was just him and his son. Is that right?
I think so.
And then I think he's like, and then Saturday would have been him and the entire family. Although I didn't see his family Saturday.
No, I didn't either. I only ever saw him.
I saw Eden, but I didn't see the whole family.
Oh man, they're wondering. They're probably gotten trapped by that exploding kittens booth.
Yeah.
That thing was constantly going off.
Yeah, we gotta do like exploding penguins or something. Because those guys make way too much money, like millions of dollars of bad cat drawings.
Oh my gosh, and they were like purposely ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bizarre for sure.
What if we just blow up like just a family pet, like exploding hamsters?
Hamsters aren't that beloved anymore.
What other ways could we kill hamsters?
I don't know. Probably a lot. They sometimes
poisoned hamsters.
They seem like they die really easily.
They only have like a shelf life of a year or two.
I was never into like, I don't know.
Hamsters?
Yeah, I never owned one.
Are we gonna draw? Are we gonna start working here?
Let's do it. And I'll talk about some WonderCon things. Ooh, what's that, Art?
That is the villain. And the victim. He's a victim that doesn't quite realize he's a victim yet.
Yeah, he's been through a lot by this point. If you were at WonderCon and you saw some of the pages, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Very cool.
What should I start with, the nose? Yes. Always start with the nose.
Why?
I don't know. I just made it up.
You heard it. That's the rule. So there were I have some WonderCon news that came out. If you're interested, Art.
I am interested.
/chat. So let's see. I'll save this one for last because we do have a trailer. I don't know if you've seen it for the new Dark Phoenix movie.
Yeah. But we have to get back into WonderCon because we have some stories like our brush with greatness.
Oh, that's right.
But we'll do that first.
We also had a couple of other brushes. So one of the things that I guess came out of WonderCon was an article from Forgive the Source, but CBR.
Is this all focused? Is this looking good? Should we get in tighter?
I can zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe. After I said that, hopefully. This allows me to zoom.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but...
Let me see. I know two guys that work at the art supply warehouse, is Matt Cosson.
Yeah, that's a great store. And those people are really, really helpful and knowledgeable about art supplies.
I guess I'm zoomed in at the limit here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, let's see. I'll turn up the focus as far as possible now. Let's see if this...
Oh, just for the record, I'm using Pelican ink now.
Oh, you're back to the professional grade. Let's see. That was really cool. Table neighbors. We just got a super chat from F Google 2. Thank you for the super chat for $2. He says, stop by your booth for the Catwoman, but forgot Sunday.
We sold out of the cat. Oh, Catwoman.
Oh, the Catwoman pages are you talking about? I remember.
Oh, okay. The original art, the actual Catwoman comic book.
I remember meeting you.
Okay. We still have them. We didn't sell them, right?
I don't think so. They're still available. Although
they did go up.
They did go up in value because they were very, very underpriced. And I don't even think they were priced the same they were on the website. I think there was some kind of mix-up with the stickers.
This was the gentleman that helped us with some insight about like microphones and stuff, right?
Tell F Google, are you the man that helped us with insights about using the Blue Yeti? If so, that was quite a pleasant interaction, and thank you for stopping by. And
that guy was very helpful.
And thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you. And those pages are still up on the site.
The pages are still up on artbytbear.com, link in the description, and you can order them there. I'm actually shocked they haven't been sold yet, and yeah, go check them out. There's a giant archive. Also, if anybody here is new and may have met us at WonderCon, I know there are some new people that we hadn't interacted with previously. Welcome to the channel.
Yes, welcome aboard.
So let's see. I'll keep an eye on the chat. He says, "Hope you get a microphone arm soon." Yes, it's him.
Yeah, because he said you should hang the mics, and then I was like, how do they make an arm strong enough to hold those Yetis? Are like lead. They're heavy.
Well, I just ordered one.
Oh, did you?
So it'll be here soon, hopefully.
Okay.
By next week. They do work. I have used one before.
Do we have a table strong enough to hold it?
That's the only thing I'm worried about because it does clamp on the table like a lamp. So that's the only variable I'm worried about, but it should be okay. If not, I believe the one I ordered has like padding on the little clasp thing. If not, I have some foam and we can ghetto rig it. But
yeah, I was just kind of joking. The tables here are strong enough, but
these mics are heavy, you guys.
Those mics are really heavy.
So the microphone arm should be here soon.
Oh, cool.
So
always looking for new ways to improve.
Famous Person 5 says, "Hey, Art."
Hey. I thought there was more.
No, that's it. Thanks for stopping by.
Simple, straightforward. I like that.
All right, so this article is from I guess some news that dropped at WonderCon. We'll see if this is a non-story or not, but I guess it involves the fate of the DC universe. And it is called DC Publishers Reveal the Future of the DC Universe.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, you guys, not to derail, but Art had his first glimpse of modern Marvel comics at the con.
Oh my gosh, we got to get that cover from Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth, you got to send us that cover.
Oh my gosh.
Now you know what all the fuss is about. I'm sorry you had to see that. Okay, so with major events like Heroes in Crisis and Doomsday Clock set to change how we see the DC Universe, fans are already wondering what will come next of their favorite heroes. By the way, is anybody in the chat reading Doomsday Clock or Heroes in Crisis? I guess they're the same. Heroes in Crisis, no, they're separate. I always think that they're like the same things. I feel like they're covering the same subject matter. But yeah. If you're reading either of those books...
Well, they don't have enough confidence in one big event. They usually launch it like two big events now. Well,
because like they seem so intertwined that like when people post stuff from them, I always assume it's the same story. Okay, so D Geek Art says, "I'll send it to you as soon as I'm home." That would be very helpful. We got to break that down. And Matt Cosson said, "I think I briefly met Miss T-Bear at your table. Thanks for pointing me to Mike Miller's table when we all met up," says Matt Cosson.
That was Taylor.
That was me. I was gonna say, unless Pamela came undercover and hung out there, but
we need to start branding you better.
I guess so. Let's see. Both titles wore me out and I lost interest, says James. Famous person says I quit both series. And P Money says Doomsday Clock I like, but I'm getting bored with Crisis. Yeah, I mean, let us know your opinions on it. And
well, wait. DC's doing another Crisis? How many Crisis stories do they have?
I know. This one's Heroes in Crisis. So, if you're wondering what will come next, DC co-publishers Jim Lee and Dan DiDio were at WonderCon to illuminate the future of things to come and hint at a few things. DC Universe is expanding to include 20,000 comics on the service, including new comics added each week, and new issues will be added to the service the following year out of being released. I'm assuming they're talking about the digital front, but I'm not completely sure. DiDio and Lee spoke about Detective Comics number 1000, which featured a collaboration between Lee and Kevin Smith. I've already tweeted Kevin Smith about working together again. Lee added, from a fan perspective, DiDio said, I've never seen so many great artists on one book. You really get your value. We're very proud of this book. And if people loved it, that's what we want to hear.
Wait a minute. You guys want to see my work with Kevin Smith? It's a box.
Absolutely.
It's right. I just found, Pamela just found them. It's right on the other side of the door, left. These are never before seen Batman, Kevin Smith,
yes, here we go.
Walter Flanagan pages. You guys are going to get a special treat here.
These are exciting.
All right. I'm sorry. This is the best part of life is tangents, right?
They're the pit stops on the road trip.
Yes.
Check this out, you guys.
Let's see.
There it is.
So these are Walter Flanagan's pencils, and these are my inks without any love. There's no love. Kevin Smith beat me down so bad.
Have you told that story?
No, I don't know. I mean, would we be totally derailing what we had prepared if I did? Maybe we should tease it for another time.
It might be enough to have its own dedicated storytime episode.
Ooh, speaking of Elastigirl.
There she is.
There's Robot Man.
It's a good story, though, you guys. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Kevin Smith is outspoken and not quite as...
People are putting money down. Andrew J says $50 confirmed, and the Mighty Eggbird says $60 confirmed.
I don't... Yeah, okay. Which page? Give him the PayPal information. I don't know. Can I sell these pages? This hasn't been printed. This hasn't even been fully inked.
Could we do an
There's Elastigirl. We should.
Could we do an auction show with just these?
Auction off some Whitening Geyer Batman pages.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, we could do that. Why not? They're scanned. I scanned them. DC has all of this stuff. So, I mean, as far as my obligation or my contract with DC, I mean, it's been fulfilled, right? Like, I supplied them printable artwork.
Yeah, they have the supply. Have these been posted anywhere?
No, this is the first time anybody's seen these pages. Yeah, I think we did 3 issues or 6 issues. I think, was it 12 issue? Yeah, it was a 12-issue series originally. Kevin Smith couldn't finish the whole thing, so he split it into 2. So there's like volume 1, volume 2. So there's 6 issues that are out on the newsstand, and we got 3 issues into the second run or the second volume.
Ooh, Batmobile shots.
Yeah. So I think there's 3 issues left needed to be done, and it's been 3, 4, 5 years.
Let's be real, he abandoned the book.
Yeah, I think he just bailed on it. So yeah, this is Kevin Smith, Walter Flanagan, and R.T. Bear. Like I said, there's not a lot of love, I'm sorry to say, in these inks. I originally got hired as a finisher by Dan DiDio. Dan was the original editor on this book.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's kept a working relationship with him.
Yeah. So hopefully he he finished that book.
Now, how many pages do you think you have here? You said there's 3?
There's 3 issues worth of pages, yeah. So 60, 65, 60, close to 70 pages, I guess.
I'm thinking we do a... I'm wondering if we should do a Storytime special, and maybe if you guys are interested, let us know in the chat. We could do an auction.
Spoiler alert!
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, so if there's any Widening Geyer Batman fans, this is disgusting.
Alright, we're gonna do an auction. Let us know if that's something you guys would be interested in, because these pages are sitting in the archive.
Oh, a double page. Oh, here, this is a major spoiler alert.
Now, how much was? Whoa.
Okay, I can't show anymore.
Now, how much would something like that double page go for?
Ooh! Look at this one.
All right, name your price on that one.
$2,000.
You heard it on the... Whoa, are those his dead parents?
Yeah, it recaps the death, and then I think this is recapping, Dick Grayson. Or what? No, it's Jason Todd,
Jason Todd, yeah.
Poor Jason.
What page is that?
This is page 1 of issue 3.
Ooh, page 1 of issue 3, you guys.
Yeah, and this one's the best page of all. It's called Cardboard.
I thought you were going to flip it over and have something on there.
I wish. Yeah, so that's that. So you never know what you're going to get here at Hacks Chat. So there's Widening Geyer. Everybody says it different. Gyre.
How do you say it?
I say Geyer.
I say Kevin Smith abandoned this and everyone forgot.
I say tomato. What do you say?
I used to have a shirt in high school that had profanity on it. They used to sell it at Hot Topic, and everybody probably remembers it. It was that you say tomato, I say F you. And I remember getting in huge trouble for it.
You had that?
Yeah, I had it, and I wore it to school, but I told my mom, I'm going to wear it under a jacket, but it was super hot that day.
Uh-oh.
So the gym teacher's they took me to the gym to change into, a loner shirt. Somebody had been sweating in all day.
Oh.
It was like a big dude shirt. I remember the collar was all gross and stiff. So.
And you know why it was gross and stiff, right?
Ew.
Because it was all sweaty and dried sweat.
It was discolored. It was terrible.
It had armpit stains.
It did. It really did. And there was I was so bad. It had I still remember it had some kind of a red truck on the front of it that looked like it was drawn by an amateur. I remember the tires were all oblong and it said Cherry Auto on it.
Was that the name of your school?
No, it was some auto body shop.
Oh, Cherry Auto. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody had just abandoned it in the gym area and I was forced to wear it.
And they couldn't throw it away. They saved it.
He might have come back. I don't know.
It's in the lost and found. You can't throw it away. You never know.
Oh, that's funny. Ooh, P Money says, I'll give my firstborn confirmed. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do...
I'll call your bluff. Let's do it.
If you're down, Art, we'll do a Batman special auction.
Okay.
It'll go on for hours because there's 3 books worth.
There's 70 pages.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know if I would get in trouble. I don't know. I don't know what.
No, because you gave the work.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I would get in trouble. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should work something out with
Flanagan?
Walter Flanagan first.
I think that...
And Art divvy up the pages, I guess.
Because he'd be entitled to half, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, because I was hired on to do finishes, so DeDito didn't have a lot of confidence in Walter, so that's why I got the job. Oh, I can't get into it anymore.
Yeah, let's switch gears here because it's quite a deep story. It's quite a widening gyre of a story.
It is, or gyre.
Just keep in mind whenever Kevin Smith talks about having a dream of writing Batman that he did before.
Or tomato.
Yeah.
What is tomato, or it's potato, really? Have you ever known anybody that said, oh, pass the potatoes?
Some French fried potatoes. By the way, those fries at that convention...
Were they good?
They were good. You shouldn't have passed them by.
Well, you weren't going to share one with me.
I offered!
Yeah, I knew that you weren't really going to share, though.
And I ate them all in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That was a bad host move of mine.
You know what the cool professional move is, you guys? Bring your own lunch.
Ooh.
Yeah, my wife saved our lives.
Yeah, she packed it for both of us. It was very sweet.
Yes.
And delicious. Thank you, by the way.
Yes.
Andrew J says, do you have anything drawn by foot?
Not yet. I wish I had more time to goof off. I'm so envious of like Malin and Miller.
Every moment spent like contributing to black and white. There's no time to draw a Ninja Turtle with your foot or something.
There's no time for us.
Although, whenever you can do that, that's when you know. That's when you know.
That you have leisure time.
Yeah, that you have time. Mark C just gave us a super chat for $5. Thank you, Mark C. And thank you for your constant support. And he says, Art, has anyone ever told you that you look like the director John Landis?
Since WonderCon, yes. A lot of people have.
Who is John Landis? I gotta look him up.
He's that guy that killed those two little Asian kids in that actor in that Twilight Zone movie.
Oh no!
He did American Werewolf in London and
Max Landis' father.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
I like that you know Max Landis, but you don't know.
You don't look like him. Well, I guess a little bit. You guys have a similar style.
They're saying what else? They say I look like somebody else too. Oh, what's that? Moulton, the guy does reviews. Like movie reviews? Leonard Moulton?
I think because you guys all have a similar style.
I think we have squinty eyes and
glasses.
we wear glasses and
beard.
And we have beards.
Yeah.
And we're all gorgeous.
John Landis was
handsome.
John Landis was kind of cute when he was younger. I'm looking at pictures of him right now. But, he did contribute to some children's deaths.
Yeah, I shouldn't have led with that. That was not nice.
Well, let's not forget.
Well, I could never forget the quote when he was in trial where he's just like, yeah, like the stunt pilot was like, he said that guy couldn't act very well, so we really need to put some fear into him, so fly a little closer to actually scare him.
You scared him, all right.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Sheldon says, Kevin Smith pronounced it like Jair on
Jair? Okay.
Jair on his podcast.
Yeah, there's Jair and then there's Geyer. I forget how I got to Geyer.
I think that Geyer is the actual word.
I don't know. I think like DeDito and God, I forget who the other editor was. It Matt Idelson took over the book. I thought they said Jair.
Yeah, I don't know. I always said Jair, but anyway. Speaking of DiDio...
I mean Geyer. I'm sorry. Not Jair.
Speaking... I'm getting confused. I don't even remember anymore. Let's see. Liberace called it potatoes, says Andrew.
That's true, he did.
Or say Liberace. Liberace called it potatoes.
Potatoes? Well, he was a little pretentious anyway.
That's Liberace.
You know what? I never knew, because remember, like, in those Looney Tunes, they'd go, I wish my brother George was here. And I guess that was a quote from Liberace.
Really?
Yeah, that's like a Liberace joke.
That's hilarious.
Just like people are going to say, Higgins, it'll do in a pinch.
I think, by the way, Higgins, Art, would you be open to Higgins being a sponsor of the show?
Yeah.
Higgins, Art's totally open. You can get a 35-year vet who knows his stuff to just say that your stuff it's just okay.
I'll do like that scene in Wayne's World. I will not bow to any sponsors.
Ooh, P-Money says, as a Canadian, just curious if you've ever done cons in Canada.
I have. I used to do a lot of shows in Canada. However, not any lately.
I forgot somebody at the con when you were away asked if you were Canadian. On my dad's side, French Canadian, yes. Which is, I heard you enjoyed it, right? The Canada cons?
Yeah, I've been to Toronto, Montreal, Quebec. Yeah, I've been to most of like the East Coast section, I guess, and then the West Coast as well.
I've always wanted to go. This is famous person says Higgins sucks. Use Dr. Phil Martin's Black Star Matte.
That's what everybody's saying. I gotta try that. Even Mike Miller said that, right?
Yeah, everybody at the con has been talking about that ink.
Yes.
Let's see. Sheldon says yes in quotes, and it's a choice of a new generation by Wayne Alger.
Yes. Little yellow, different. All this talk is giving me a headache.
I use Black Cat ink, says Matt Cosson. Is that real?
I gotta try that now.
Oh, Art, get this. At Art Supply, there was an ink that was called Comic Ink. And it had like Comic Sans font on it.
I'm telling you guys right now, that Blue Line Pro stuff, anything that's really aimed at comic book, I haven't seen any of that stuff that's quality. And I'm only saying this because, you know, I get a lot of samples and things at conventions. And I think, I don't know, this might, Blue Line Pro, I don't know if they're around anymore. But that paper is really, really bad, you guys. And the reason I say this is because it's really hard to judge quality based on paper that as soon as you put ink to it, it expands like a sponge. It just kind of just spiders out. And I say this just to spare you guys like heartbreaks, because I get these things and then I started putting it together. I'm like, I don't think it's these guys putting down this horrible line. I think it's the paper. So what I started doing when I'd get these samples, I would flip them over and I'd ask them, can I throw a couple lines down? And they go, sure. I'd throw the lines down. This is from a professional with professional ink, professional tools. I'd throw the line down and it would spider out. It would just like a sponge. And I'd go, listen, man, this isn't you. This is the paper. Get better paper. Get like Strathmore. Get a brand name. I think Strathmore now makes a comic book paper.
They do.
And I don't know how it is, but usually the Strathmore quality is pretty good, and you got to find a board that you can kind of beat up, because when you ink with a nib and different tools, you're kind of digging in, almost like cutting into the board sometimes, and you want paper that really holds together, because if it doesn't, it'll just bleed like crazy. And so, like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm picking on Blue Line Pro, because it might be better now, but in the day when people were using that a lot, I would see these pages people would show me, and it would just break my heart, because they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into these things, and then the paper just isn't backing it up, and it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see it, and it's heartbreaking for me to have to tell people that. So yeah, don't use that stuff. Just get like 2-ply or it's smooth Strathmore board. And I believe it comes in all sizes, because I use it for the commissions. What is it, 9x11?
Yeah,
is that it?
It's good paper.
Yeah, 9x12s. Yeah, and then there's the 11x17 sheets as well.
Yeah, that's the main Bristol that you see in the yellow packaging.
Yes.
P Money says, thanks for the reminder. I just hit that like button. We got a lot of Canadians and Canadian connections in the chat right now.
Yes.
And by the way, if anybody here is new and you're here because I directed you at the con for portfolio review, that link is in the description. It is the second to last link if you are looking for that. And we'll put out a newsletter when things calm down over here and get everybody up to date on that, because Art was interested. We're interested in doing portfolio reviews again if people would like to submit.
Yeah, I want to start giving back again. Early when we started this channel, we were doing a lot of reviews and portfolio, art conversations and stuff. And I'd like to get back into that. I always felt like this is a good place to be, give back to the community.
And we have good technology now where it would be a lot easier to do, because we can screen share right from the screen, and it'll be. I think it'll go a lot smoother. It'll be pretty cool. We've grown.
And just know you're still gonna hear a click, click, click of the mouse.
They love it.
Yeah.
Mark C, thank you for the super chat for $10. Mark C says, I miss the days when inkers actually contributed to the look of the artwork. Between original art sales and digital pages, pencilers are letting their ego overrun their ability to produce.
You know what? When we were selling the artwork, we got a lot of those conversations. I could not believe it where they were saying, this is on the board, this is all. And I'm like, yeah. And then there was one guy, he's like, he's just looking for specifics. And it was weird because we couldn't pinpoint it down, like characters, whatever. He goes, I just like a really nicely inked page.
Yeah.
Like he was looking for uniquely inked pages. He bought a bunch of pages too.
And he was interested in like on the page effects, because with the birth of digital effects and stuff, and none of those can't look good, but there's nothing that beats like original effects like white paint and stuff. And art is extremely good at that. If you guys have seen the traditional pages, especially in person, that's something that I think a lot of people are skimping on, because people kind of just, in a lot of Marvel books I've seen lately, they're just kind of slapped on digitally.
If they even do anything, man. That book that Elizabeth showed us, oh my gosh. Now I know what everybody's talking about with the Marvel books. Because I haven't been in a comic shop in years, so I really didn't know. And then when I saw this book, it was shocking.
Yeah, now you know the degree of the average Marvel book. But yeah, I think there was a lot of new collectors too at the con, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Da-da-da. Oh, Uncle Mikey is here.
Mikey.
He says Canadians.
I know, Mike hates Canadians.
But why?
He only likes half of me.
Aw. Is that why he's always giving you ribbing?
Yeah, he likes the Portuguese side of me.
David Ignacios has been keeping up with the WonderCon vids. How did the show go overall?
Oh, David, it's good to hear from you. WonderCon was wonderful. I was going to say amazing, but that's Amazing Con. This is WonderCon. It was amazing. Yeah, we had a great time. The people were awesome. I always like shows where the people are cool, the professionals are cool, and you make good money. And this was the trifecta.
We got a super chat just now for $1.99 by our friend Sierra Whiskey. Thank you, Sarah Whiskey. And he says, Art, save that black and white promo cover for me.
Okay. No problem.
I forgot that was another thing you guys could have seen close up and personal in the original art section at the table.
It was the Wizard exclusive black and white art. Wizard. It was a couple years back. They made into a print. So sometimes Wizard, they have these VIP packages, and so with the VIP package, they'll commission different people to do artwork. And I believe at that show it was Neil Adams and myself.
Very cool.
Yeah.
David Ignacio says, I need to get you back out to Texas somehow.
Oh my gosh, David, if you can get me back out to Texas, I would love that. Taylor needs to see Texas too.
I would love to go to Texas.
I was just talking to a couple fellow comic book artists, and they were saying, where's the best places to go, shows and stuff. I go, Texas, always Texas. You guys still have a good economy, and you don't hesitate spending money, and I am grateful for that.
If we were, somebody asked a question. I keep skipping over this. I'm sorry. Someone wanted to know if you would ever do a New York show again. I'm trying to find it.
I love New York. I haven't been to New York in a while, but when they first started the big New York show, that's the huge one now, I think I went the first 3 years that they were getting that going.
I heard it's a cool show.
It was at that point it was a great show, yeah.
Sheldon says, cool Art, I'm half French Canadian as well, too, brudda.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just realized I never... Oh, Mark C. just sent us another super chat. Thank you, Mark C. for $2. He says, is Oodles of Doodles still available? Oodles of Doodles is still available on In Demand on IndieGoGo. The link is in the description. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. If anybody joining hasn't heard, there was only 200 copies printed, so they're extremely limited. But there's still a few up there. I think there's still a print bundle available. There's a couple print bundles. Most of them have sold out. And if you haven't backed Black and White, you can get the bundle to get Oodles and Black and White together. But if you get just Oodles, or if you get the print bundle Oodles, then they are ready to ship. So
yeah, the art book will go out as soon as we get... Well, I think Pamela just sent out the last batch, so we're going to need probably at least 10 more sales to make it worth her trip to the post office. So
right,
probably in a week or so she'll be mailing stuff out again.
So if you haven't ordered a book, it's still available in demand. And I don't know what we're sitting at right now, but we are the exact number. We are over 59K, making the push to 60K. Let's see.
I still can't believe we got to back up. You just said like 59K. This is an independent book. I mean, drawn and written by some amazing people, but you know, still, that's pretty darn good.
It's nothing to shake a stick at, and you guys are you're watching it be made before your very eyes every time we do one of these chats.
Let's back up, okay? Ready? Have you ever shaken a stick at anyone?
I did it at a dog once, and it was trying to attack me.
Did you ever have a stick shaken at you?
Do I want to answer that?
I don't know. Was this ever a thing?
Well, when they say more than you can shake a stick at, it's like, I don't know what the context is of that. Art always analyzes these old sayings, and then now I start doing it and realizing that a lot of them have a really strange old-timey context that isn't, like, applicable to life anymore.
Well, it's like, I don't know. The only one that always comes to mind is hell in a handbasket, because my mom always used to say that, like, you're going to go to hell in a handbasket. And then I finally, you just say what your parents say, you just kind of parrot it back in your life. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what they would say, like, just before they would slice your head off in a guillotine. And it's like, it's a head box. It's not, I guess they say like a, in a hand basket, but it's a head basket. And so I guess they would carry your head off, and, because you were probably a bad person, you were therefore going to hell. So I guess they would say that just before they lopped your head off, that you're going to hell in a hand basket.
That's funny.
It's kind of gross, though. A
lot of them are like that, though. Like, they have a really weird context that you don't think about, because they're just idioms that people have been saying for years. Yeah, so like, your mom probably didn't even know.
No, and then I wonder what that shake a stick at thing is.
Well, the origin, apparently, of the idiom is... The real meaning of the idiom, nothing to shake a stick at, is that something is not very impressive, of course, or nothing to write home about. Let me see the idioms, not sure why. I'm trying to find the origin, because this is like explaining it as if we don't know.
Yeah, we know how to use it, but we don't know what the origin of it is.
It says it's not worth a confrontation, but I don't think that's true. Because, like, whenever I hear, like, it's nothing to shake a stick at, it's like, it's not just a small thing, I guess. If anybody knows the origin, Comics Legend says, what about Screwed the Pooch?
I think that one's self-explanatory.
That one always made me laugh.
That one's horrible.
I know. They're showing a bunch of early examples. Let's see. Maybe it's a form of... No, this isn't right. I gotta find out the origin of this. We'll come back to this.
So is this our educational segment of the show?
Well, it says the origin could be as wild speculation, but using a walking stick or cane to count something. If there's a lot to count, the stick will be shaking a lot for each item. If there's too much, shaking the stick won't be able to keep up.
That sounds more like the origin.
That makes a lot of sense. If anybody knows a different origin, let us know. Mark C says, Oodles of Doodles is mine. Ha ha ha.
Wait,
Ooh,
did he order one?
Congratulations.
Yes. I'll sign it and everything.
Let's take a look, but keep looking at the camera because I gotta pull this up seamlessly.
Hey, ink something, Art. Get to work.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
No. Our search is full of Batman Brave and Bold because we were talking about that this morning.
Oh, we have some shows prepared for you guys. If you think this is weird, oh, you wait.
Let's see. Let's go to screen share over here. We are at 59. Ooh, actually, I think we went up since last time I looked. We're at 59,396. Which is definitely more than I had guessed before. I can't tell if you guys are seeing this. I gotta make sure that I zoom forward on this actual chat and see. So, as of right now, we are at 59,396.
Yes.
Thanks, you guys. That's a lot of books.
That's a lot of cheddar. Now, where'd that come from?
You know, the value of
cheddar.
of cheese.
In some country, cheese is more important than gold.
Sierra Whiskey says, I have the oodles and the doodles.
Oh, you'll have both. We're getting enough oodles of doodles for Oodles of Doodles too, right?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I gotta recompile. I have on a USB from a while ago where we were compiling the second book, but now there's like way more, and I actually think that Elastigirl will be a really good addition on there. And not just that, but this.
I'll do Elastigirl on Elastigirl action.
Domino would also be a good one. I like this one. This is very cute.
I almost didn't do that. I don't like to draw on those covers.
Yeah, there were a lot of people asking at the con for you to do that. And this wasn't on a cover, right?
That's on that Bristol board I was talking about. Like, it's 9x12.
What do you guys think? I think this one would be a good addition for the next book as well.
I'm going to need you to clean that up, though, because the reds and stuff,
you're
always able to bring out the true colors better than I can.
It's really hard, cut back to the camera, it's really hard to scan. If you guys are artists, you probably already know this, but it's really hard to scan things with wash and stuff because they look really great in person, but with the quality of scanners there are now that pick up everything, they don't really know how to pick up subtlety, so they pick up every little scrap. Like, you kind of got to adjust it to get it where it needs to be.
Well, also there's the color versus the gray tones. So you have to kind of separate them, right?
Yeah.
In layers, and that's just, I know how to do it, but I just can't do it as well as you do.
It's also just time consuming. David Ignacio says, I can't remember. Was that Black Canary you did for me in the first Oodles?
I know your Supergirl is in the Oodles book.
That's
and
right.
Thank goodness man, that thing came out so cool. That was for San Diego, I think.
That was a neat one. I think that Black Canary made it too.
I brought that book to the show. I don't have my little copy here now.
I'm not completely certain.
Yeah, I don't know, David.
Let's see. Sheldon.
If not, then it'll definitely be in the next one. Yeah, is that the one where she's putting up her dukes?
Yeah, she has her fist up like she's gonna fight.
Yeah, I don't think that's in that one actually.
Ooh, if not, we'll definitely have to include that one in the Oodles of Doodles Toodles.
Good one.
Sheldon says, Oodles and Doodles, the whole kit and caboodle from the noodle. I thought it was going somewhere there.
You know, we're going into Dr. Seussville.
We should have a tier in the next Oodles and Doodles. This is the whole kit and caboodle.
That'll be the jam tier, like where you get everything.
You get all the prints. You get the book, and you may get black and white or something.
All right, now we have to look up kit and caboodle.
Kit and caboodle makes sense though, because isn't a caboodle what you carry makeup in? That's what I always call
I thought
them.
it was a type of dog.
No, that's a labradoodle.
No, that's a paradoodle. Oh, a paradiddle. That's a drum.
Stop breeding mutts and then giving them fake breed names.
Yeah.
I just realized I never finished reading this article, you guys.
We're having too much fun.
Sierra Whiskey says, you know what would be a great addition to Doodles? My characters.
Oh man, Sierra Whiskey's got some stuff lined up, you guys. Some cool stuff. I can't spill the beans.
It's going to be pretty neat.
It's going to be some pretty cool storytelling. And he promised to give me a creator byline.
Ooh.
I gave you some $1 million ideas, man.
And oh my gosh, and Pixel. You gave him some major advice as well.
Oh, let's face it, though. Pixel's not going to listen to me.
Whoa.
He's beyond me.
Gary Shipman's here.
Gary's got a book, IndieGoGo. It's called Packin's Land. Back it.
Go check it out. Okay, let me see if I can keep going.
Was that good enough, Gary? Did you like that? Did you approve?
I'm sure he did. Everybody's saying hello to Gary. You guys are so friendly. It's such a good community here.
Gary! Isn't Gary the snail in SpongeBob?
He is.
Does it crack you up like it does me when people name like animals like really normal human names?
My cat's name was Kenneth.
See, that's comedic gold. Pamela has a friend. The cat's name is Kyle. It's Kyle.
I gotta go pick up Kyle.
I gotta go get Kyle. Kyle's getting his hair done.
I always thought it was funny. My friend's dog name was Junior.
Junior.
Like, I guess he was like the dog next door had puppies kind of thing, and the owner like named him the other dog's name again because he was lazy, and like we just called him Junior. Gary says, yes, Art, I approve.
Excellent.
Andy says, I feel the plug for Gary was under duress. How dare you?
Never.
Sarah Whiskey says, Kyle can be a real jerk.
You know what? Like, if we ever, like have a convention where all of us are together, we need to do, like, a live chat. Because it'll just be like a stand-up heckle session, right?
Yes.
So somebody says something and then somebody else chimes in. It'd be like... Or more like a roast, I guess, right?
Yeah. I have a plan for next year now that I know how the internet works. What I'm thinking...
Now that you know how the internet
Well, because, like, I had to pay for, like, a specialized internet to get it.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, it was so spotty. But I was thinking, like... And then, no offense, Mike, but your stream was super choppy. If we get, like, I know nobody likes the, those weird, like, arms that you hold, like, phone cameras with. But if I had, like, my iPad set up and then we paid for the internet, we could just, like, live stream on and off, but from, like, a point of view at the table.
Ooh.
So it, like, I'm thinking, like, in frame where they can see you and people beyond the table since everybody approaches at the front, and then we can just click on and off whenever we want to live stream.
What if we just set up like a security camera across the aisle so it looks like some kind of like 7-Eleven, like surveillance footage?
It's all black and white. I think it'll work. It's gonna be even better at the next con. Let's see. We should just roast Mike Miller, says Sierra Whiskey.
Mike's a good guy. Come on.
He's Uncle Mikey.
I think only you call him Uncle Mikey. No,
I'm trying to start a thing.
I do too.
I almost lost my Lone Star dog tag when I was hiking. It fell and it was literally hanging off my ear. I was just like, no! I was watching it dangle and slip off.
Man, that's hardcore.
I know. It made me feel like a real hero because I was just watching the Lone Star Squadron logo. Like,
as you were potentially gonna fall to your death.
Yeah, I had to decide whether to grab it with my hand.
Or the ledge and save yourself.
Yes.
Oh, decisions.
James Hayes says, we only have a Comics Gate roast if they all have pies for each other.
I like pies. It depends on the pie, but I think I like more. I think I like pie more just as variety than cake.
Ooh, you sure? You sure you're gonna put your foot down?
Well, there's. I mean, does this fall in? Cheesecake is actually more.
It's a pie
than it is.
If it's round and you slice it like that and has a crust, it's a pie. Cheesecake is just trying to skirt the line.
I used to like New York cheesecake. That's that really dense stuff. I don't like that as much anymore, though.
Really?
Yeah, I like the lighter stuff, and especially like with fruit in it. Get some with fruit in it.
That is good. There's an episode of Friends where Joey gets mad because he ordered like some kind of Black Forest cake, and they bring it out and it's a cheesecake that has like blueberries on it. And he's like, "This looks disgusting. I refuse to eat this." And every time I see that episode, I always think like, that looks like the most delicious thing. Like, you're mad that you didn't get like a cake over that.
Stupid Joey.
Joey's stupid. People want a live roast. Not at a con, though. That would become a mess.
No, I think it would be better because then you could get you get people's reaction.
Can we get Tanya Bjork to to host?
Now you have to tell your Tanya Bjork story for anybody who's coming in late.
Tanya Bjork was our fictional villain, but our real neighbor in the artist alley who was across from us. Yeah. She had troubled eyes.
And Jeff was the hero.
Jeff was cool. What do you... none of your business is what? You don't like pizza?
No, I like pie. What?
It doesn't have to be either or.
I didn't say I hated pie.
You know, they always say it's a pizza pie.
Because it slices.
Yeah, it's round.
It's round and it's a slice.
And I guess it's got a crust. So that's all it takes to be a pie, really.
Apparently. I love pizza. I love pizza pie.
All right, you guys. I'm going to finally read this article. So
don't worry, you guys. She won't.
I'll get to it. There's an ad that's like right in my face whenever I read this. It's a comic called Sarah that says "Lethal Sniper, the Death Angel," and I can't stop looking at it.
And it's called Sarah?
Her name, yeah, it's Sarah.
She's the sniper?
I guess. Anyway, so with major events like Heroes in Crisis and Doomsday Clock set to change how we see the DC Universe, fans are already wondering what will come next for their favorite heroes. DC co-publishers Jim Lee and Dan DiDio were at WonderCon to illuminate the future of the universe and a hint at things to come. DC Universe is expanding to include 20,000 comics on their service, including new comics added each week, and new issues will be added to the service the following year of being released. Again, I think they're talking about the digital service, but it doesn't really say. That is the writer's fault, not mine. DiDio and Lee spoke about Detective Comics 1000, which featured a collaboration between Lee and Kevin Smith. I've already tweeted Kevin about working together again.
Oh, by the way, you guys. Never mind.
Feel free to scroll back after this and see Art's work with Kevin Smith and Walter Flanagan. I've already tweeted Kevin Smith about working together. Okay, you heard that. I've never seen so many great artists in one book. You really get your value. We're proud of this book, and if people loved it, it's what we want to hear. Speaking about the year of the villain, DiDio hinted that it's a great story being done by Brian Michael Bendis and Scott Snyder that will build off events in Justice League and Batman, the City of Bane. They can call something the City of Bane, even though it's super close to the really, really popular book, The City of Bone. All culminating in November this year. Our goal is to raise the stakes of all of our titles, and that they have across the entire DC universe. One of the things I hate seeing is movies and TV shows connectivity better than comics. That's something they learned from comics, and it's something we're returning to. Starting the first Wednesday in May, we're picking up each week. So I guess, whereas before they were saying it was all going to be one-shots, now they're making it so that absolutely everything's connected.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just going to say this, because they did it... What was it? what pizza company was that? They're saying basically now we're going to use all real ingredients and we're going to do this other thing.
Domino's,
so,
I think.
Was it Domino's? So they were basically admitting for like the last decade they were using crappy ingredients.
Oh no, it's
and
Papa John's.
Papa John's and not real stuff. And then they're like, but now we're going to get back to our roots. It's like, DC, why are you doing this? Why do you announce that? Just do it. Don't say, like, you know what? For the last decade, we've been giving you crappy stories that haven't had, connective tissue as far as, like, ongoing storylines and plot lines. Just do it. Don't say these things. Just do it. Like, I don't know. I hate that.
Yeah, why do they have to even insult what came before, or like address it? Just do it.
Right, exactly. Like if you were a Papa John's fan of the pizza for the last decade and you supported them, and then now they're saying we gave you a
bad product, and then you're like, wait a minute, I really liked it. So if you were like a DC guy and you really liked the way the stories were structured and everything, then now you're like, what? Oh, I guess I liked crap.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I personally like one-shot stories.
One and dones, yes.
Let's see. Jim Lee revealed that another push is Leviathan Rising, and we're excited to announce 2 titles coming out of Leviathan Rising. That's a weird way to put this, but I guess that's his quote. Lois Lane by Greg Rucka and Mike Perkins, and Jimmy Olsen by Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber.
Ooh, let's back up. Remember you and I, huh?
Yeah, me and Art, gosh, it was like a while
5
ago.
4 years ago.
We used to talk about doing a Lois Lane series and pitching that, and we had a ton of ideas about it. And
because like internet news, and there's a lot of things like dynamics that have changed as far as news, and we had this whole storyline.
Yeah, we had a whole storyline. It was pretty much focused on her just being a reporter in a world with superheroes. So this will be interesting. By the way, the old Lois Lane comics are hilarious and amazing. And I recommend reading every single one. It may be one of my favorite comics of all time.
You know what? You should head a show like that.
About Lois Lane comics?
No, like you find these covers and stuff with like crazy, like, like images and sayings, and like comics are kind of nutty.
There's some of the it's really weird because there are comics now, like that Hawkeye comic that we saw, that are they're bad, but they're also bad quality. And then there are comics like the Lois Lane comic where it's like Lois wishes to go back in time when things were simple, and then she ends up working like Cinderella, and it's it's bad, but the art's well done, and it's so hilarious that you'll never forget it. It's still fun. It's still an entertaining read as opposed to something that's bad and you just don't enjoy it. There's a big difference.
Yeah, it's just of the time, but it's really kind of... But that, to me, that's the fun of comic books anyways, is some of the more ridiculous, or maybe a better way to put it is fun ideas.
Oh, None Your Business is what I'm talking about. He says, Lois Meets the Dinosaurs is classic, and Lois was great. There's such a wild imagination. Exactly. If you're not going to read a comic for... the best thing about Lois, not to go off on too much of a tangent, is that Superman's present, and he's always like, I told you so. He tries to teach her moral lessons. And it gives their, relationship a really funny context of, Lois is kind of... Lois kind of messes up a lot. It's a good thing that Superman's around, or she would probably be dead.
I always took it more like that Lois was she was just a hardcore reporter. So she never thought about self. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes to get the story. You know what I mean? So she'd always get herself in these binds. And so the good thing is that she was a great reporter, but she had a guardian angel.
Yes, he's her guardian angel.
You know what I mean? So she would go get the hard-edged stories, but Superman would have her back.
Yes. You know? None Your Business says she was basically Lucy. In that series, she was.
Oh, yeah, in that series. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Ew, do your Lucy.
There's one where she tries to ditch Superman for this guy that's like super handsome, and then it turns out he's like a horrific monster. And the cover, she's like, no, like, help me, Superman, I don't want to marry him. And Superman's laughing, like, really hard, and he has his hand on his head. And he's like, too bad, Lois, marry him. Like, he's just, like, trolling her. Lois got more reckless once Superman came around, says Sierra Whiskey. It's pretty good. What I'm saying is that me and Art could do a great Lois Lane series.
Well, we had some cool ideas, I thought.
We did. But I guess we'll see what Well, the
reason we never pitched it is because the ideas were they were probably a little too not serious, but maybe a little too on the nose with what was happening in the world.
Yeah, it would have been very almost Law and Ordery in that way, huh?
Yeah.
But I think that's interesting because she is a reporter, and I feel like they don't really focus on her being much of a reporter in that world.
Yeah, it would be like you can get in the story and just do it matter of factly, but I think people today would take it as political.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. It'll be interesting to see what route they go with that. And
yeah.
What sounds strange is that it sounds like they're doing a Jimmy Olsen thing, and it sounds like it's all tied together into some kind of event, and I think that's kind of the wrong move, personally. How do you feel about that?
Well, if it's an event, I am so done with events. Like you said earlier, let's do some one and dones. Let's just write some cool stories and do it that way. Maybe some like old school where there would be, some plot lines, some subplots that get introduced, in one issue and then start paying off by, the third issue down the line.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that versus these big epic, ongoing storylines and things like that. I think when Bendis was the first one that I saw like kind of do these long form, like stories like when we were doing Ultimate Spider-Man where there would be, I don't know, 3 issues worth of storytelling just to get, Peter into the Spider-Man costume, for the first time. And, you know what I mean? So they were like these long form ways of telling stories like, I don't know, Aunt May's got some problems moving on and then, eventually she gets some therapy and some help, just things like that. But they were all, over several issues of storytelling. And at the time, I think it felt new. It felt original. It felt like real time.
Yeah.
Stuff that was happening, because it wasn't condensed storytelling. It was kind of, like ongoing, and it would take longer to tell the beginning, middle, end of a story. So it would take 4 issues instead of a 22-page story, like the older ones. But there weren't a lot of one and dones. I don't think there were really any. And so what seemed very original and unique at the time now feels
like the go-to.
It feels kind of boring to me, like because everything became long form, dragged out. And I do think a better way to attract readers is to try to do more one and dones, which is what DC 52, New 52 was supposed to be, from what I remembered their sales pitch. So I thought that was a good move, is to just do more one and dones.
I agree. Dynamo says that's Dragon Ball pacing. Yeah, pretty much.
But just to back up, I'm sorry. The only way you can do those stories too, like a Peter Parker origin to become Spider-Man, or some of these stories that they're doing, is if you already know Peter Parker's going to become Spider-Man. Because the reason those older books had to be condensed and they had to move faster is because they had to hook those people, because they were selling brand new properties. You know what I mean? Like, no one knew who Spider-Man was. So you had to make that each one of those issues as action-packed as possible. And if you look at the first year run of Spider-Man, all that Rogues Gallery, all that stuff, one issue right after another. It was just machine gun fire. Boom, boom, boom. And I think that's why those things work, because also you don't have to, if you just started reading issue 5 of Spider-Man, you didn't have to necessarily read issue 1. You know what I mean? You could come in at any place and kind of pick up on the story.
Yeah.
Because they weren't so reliant on all this history. And I think these comics now rely a little too much on their past and their history without just kind of doing one and dones and thinking, well, maybe this is the first time somebody is picking up this comic book.
Especially if they're all going to be intertwined like what they're pitching now.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I'm going off on like this whole thing, but one of the ideas with Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men and all the Ultimate line was, they wanted to make a new line of comics that didn't have all this baggage, right? So the Marvel Universe had like 60 years of baggage up to that point, or whatever the heck it was. So they wanted to feel like this was a Spider-Man for a new generation, right? But what it ends up happening, because of the way they did it, it was always going to be doomed, because at some point at year 3, Spider-Man does have baggage. You know what I mean? Like the Ultimate Spider-Man does have a history. And the way they were written, since they're so connected, that you can't, once again, you have the same problem. You can't just come in on issue 36 and just read it as a one and done. You have to realize, that all these other stories came before that, and you have to find out what came before it so you could understand that story of, the book that's on the newsstands right now. And that fundamentally is a problem. If you do more one and dones, then you can truly attract new audience, because they're not reliant on all that history, and start writing these books like no one knows who the hell Spider-Man is. You know what I mean? Just start writing those books that way. So then if you write it from that point of view, then you're always aware that you kind of have to reestablish him a little bit, give a little bit of context of who he is, what his dynamics are, what Spider-Man can do, what he can't do, all those things. Like I said, you don't always have to harp on it like in complete detail, but just give enough that if a newbie just came in and just picked up a book, they would know what was happening. And then the cool thing about when I was a kid, if you liked that one issue of Spider-Man, then you could go get the back issues. You know what I mean? And those were all one and dones as well.
Yeah, you could still catch up.
Yeah, and just read more Spider-Man stories, but not necessarily that same Spider-Man story arc. You know what I mean? Or that same dragged, that same story that, goes 6 issues.
Dynamo says, older books had way more panels, less content per page, and less detailed art. The average panel count has gone way down since the 80s. 22 pages is like 86 pages. These 44 pages modern art and layouts.
Yeah, and subplots practically is non-existent.
Yeah.
In new comics.
I agree with that. Comics Legend said, one of the worst stories I've read so far is the Heroes in Crisis book. What a slog to read through. The art is great, but the story is awful. Well, one thing that concerns me in this article is that they compare the new Jimmy Olsen book. They say, who I guess Rucka's writing. Oh no, it's Matt Fraction, Steve Lieber, I'm sorry. It says, Jimmy Olsen has the same energy as Hawkeye at Marvel, that sense of adventure and fun. I hate the Hawkeye book. Personally, let me know how you guys feel about it, because supposedly it has a huge fan base. I know a lot of people really love Hawkeye as a character, and supposedly a lot of people read that book. Maybe I'm wrong. If you enjoy it, let me know. But saying that Jimmy also has the same energy as Hawkeye at Marvel sounds like the book is going to be... That sounds like not a great endorsement to me personally.
I don't even know who Jimmy Olsen is in the current DC universe.
Well, I remember before, like, the old Jimmy Olsen book, he was like the everyman in the superhero world. And it was kind of interesting and funny, because he was almost like Archie, too, where, like, a lot of girls liked him, but he was like a plucky Peter Parker without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked. Like, there was one where he was, and this is pre-New 52 Harley Quinn, back when she was, still with the Joker, and she was still like in her normal costume, and she kidnapped him, and they were gonna do something like and ransom him, And he was like, no, like, you can't because... And he just, like, lied because he knows that she has, like, a soft spot for romance. Like, I have to get back to my girlfriend. So then, like, Harley's like, oh my gosh, like, we can't separate them. She, like, helps him escape. And it was really good. But then, like, it was some girl that he liked. And then it was super awkward because they, like, drove him up to the house. And he had to, like, pretend he was with her. And it was pretty good. But, I don't know... The Hawkeye book comparison is really strange.
Well, from what I saw at the convention, if that's the Hawkeye book they're comparing it to...
It is.
Oh my god.
Let's see. I just liked the Hawkeye covers and that's it. It says Slacker High. It had some good covers when it was first going.
The cover we saw, however...
Dynamo says, and this was my thought, huge fan base equals ships 5,000 copies. No one buys that. Well... No comment. That might be okay numbers for Marvel right now.
5,000 copies?
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm so far removed from Marvel right now. But to be honest, that comic I saw at WonderCon, that Hawkeye comic, if that thing sold 5,000 copies, I would be shocked.
I get why people really like him as a character. But I don't know about the current book. Like, if you're, like, a big Hawkeye fan of the character, I totally don't blame you. Dynamo says, the only thing that sells in my shop is Venom. 80% of the floor space is Magic cards. There's, like, 2 shelves with new releases.
That breaks my heart.
Sorry to hear that, Dynamo. I think that's kind of the average shared trouble of most people with shops. The article goes on. They also brought up and I want to see what you thought about this, Art. They also brought up the upcoming Black Label books, including Frank Miller and John Romita Jr.'s story, Superman Year One, and Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, Batman The Last Night. It'll feature Batman traveling the scorched remains of the Earth, carrying the still alive head of the Joker. Which sounds like they're ripping off Headlopper, but whatever. It wouldn't be the first time they rip off an indie book. I think they're doing something special here, Didio added about Last Night. We're trying to look at our key characters and explore them in new ways. A grizzled older character traveling a strange world with the severed head of his enemy that talks. That sounds like the most popular indie book out right now. We're trying to look at our key characters and explore them in new ways. He then describes Superman Year One as a fun story. Frank Miller loves Superman, and each chapter will explore a different great love of Superman's life. Lana Lang, Lori Lamaris, and Lois Lane. What do you think?
It's never been my experience that Frank Miller loves Superman. I think that whole Big Blue Boy Scout thing, all that cynical...
He
Superman
started
stuff,
that.
I thought like that kind of came from him. So I never got the sense that Frank Miller actually had any kind of affection for that character. I always thought he had a little bit of contempt for it, and actually, to be honest, I think he has contempt for superhero comics in general. I think he liked that Batman character a lot, but I don't think he has a lot of... I'm trying to find my pin. You know what? I think it's... I brought it to the convention. Wait, here it is. Here's another one, I think. No, this isn't it.
Slacker High...
Wait. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to go get my pin.
Alright, Slacker High says, Frank Miller loves the money he gets from writing Superman.
Exactly.
That might be a more accurate statement as well. Well, he's gone. Let's take a look at something. Look at that. Isn't that a neat dark Phoenix? Doesn't it take you back to when comics were cool and fun?
Yeah, I never thought that Frank Miller had any affection for Superman. And then in, what was it, in the All-Star Batman, where he painted Robin all up yellow and had him beat the heck out of Hal Jordan.
Oh my god, I hate that comic. Oh, you gotta
go back. Here's the Pixel. Here's Pixel sticker.
Ooh, what a logo,
in comics,
too.
Look at that. So, yeah, this is what I take to conventions. And there's my pin of choice. Ta-da!
Yeah, I think you're right about that assessment of Frank.
Yeah, and I thought it was weird that they really went out of their way in the press release, like, Frank loves Superman. Like, they didn't say it about anybody else, like, you know what?
Yeah.
Greg Capullo loves Batman. You know, like, they didn't make a stink about that, but...
Yeah, they're saying it just to put it in your head, like, to put you at ease, because they know everybody's first thought is, like, Frank Miller, Superman. That's weird.
Frank hates Superman.
Slacker High says... question, does Oodles of Doodles and the black and white bundle include the 16-page ash can? Thanks.
No.
No, it does not. Do we still have... I don't know if we offer it as an add-on either. What your best bet would be is to order, if you've already ordered Oodles, then you just buy... Okay, here's your best bet. It'd be to buy the black and white with the 16-page ash can included, and then buy Oodles separately. And if you send us contact us or something, send us a note, we'll work out shipping or something. I think that would be the easiest way to do it. Does that sound right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's see. I've seen people walk in, see the Neil Adams Conan cover, and buy 5 or 6 other titles, says Nunya Business.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another part of the article. So, DiDio spoke about the Walmart released comics and revealed that the stories collected in those issues will soon be collected in trade collections aimed towards the direct market. Lee brought up that the DC Young Readers book line, which by the way is a terrible name.
But why? Comics have never been exclusive to children. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were just comic books. Why do you have to make an exclusive line to sell to kids? They're comic books. They're already made for kids. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Like, comics have, like...
You don't have to say that they're a young readers line. They're already aimed towards young readers.
Right.
And if not, then they should be.
The book is called Spider-Man. Like... It's aimed at kids already. There's a book called Batman. It's already aimed at children. They were always aimed at children. How old were you, Taylor, when you started getting into these type of stories?
I was super little. I was probably like 6.
Yeah, I was 5 or 6 years old, right? And it's like now they're gonna aim comic books at children.
Kids don't like stuff that has a kid label on them like that. Nunya Business is 100% right. He says, let kids find their own stuff.
Yeah.
And Dynamo prints out, this would be a reprint of reprints. Yeah, like, why are they collecting it again? It's weird. So the DC Young Readers book saying, we're so glad to see DC in the market. This is the fastest growing market, and we're excited to see it grow. Some of the stuff in the DC... What? Some of the stuff in the DC Inc. is actually... Oh. The person who wrote this misspelled... this part. Good job, CBR. Some of the stuff in the DC Inc. is actually more mature than what we have in the main line. So we went out and hired writers and artists who hadn't worked in DC Comics and brought them onto the children's line. We want them to feel different. We're glad to see them becoming so different. So
Okay, let's back up. Ya lunatics! My gosh, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Used to have Vertigo. The main comic book line was already aimed at kids. The DC Universe stuff was for kids. And then they had Vertigo, which was for more adult people. Like, come on. What the heck?
Yeah, like, the main comic should be general audience, and then Vertigo should be the more mature. It shouldn't be the opposite. It shouldn't be the main is mature, and then there's a special line for kids. And also... I really don't like the implication of like, oh, it's new artists and writers who hadn't worked in DC, because what I hear is...
Cheap artists.
Yes. Amateur artists. So the books are probably not going to look as cool. And if you're a kid and you're like, somebody hands you like, oh, here's the kid book, and it looks all kiddie and like less good, like you're going to feel so gypped. Like you're going to want real Batman.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've said it in the studio a million times and talked about this, but like... The people who liked comics when they were aimed at kids and general audience. They didn't need to change them to appeal to adults because people were already sold on it. That was not the answer.
Yeah, because as you grow up, you still like those childlike things. You know what I mean? Like you still like cartoons or comic books or whatever they are. So you stay there. And you know what? I'll even go this far. like when you grow up, and okay, let's say you were a kid and you played baseball. You grow up to be an adult that loves baseball. You go to the baseball games and stuff like that. These are just continuations of childlike likes that you had that were always there. And you don't see them change in baseball to be more mature. You know what I mean? Like, baseball's baseball. It's the same as it always has been. So, like Taylor was saying, you're an adult, but you still like those childlike comic book adventures. You still like those things. So why are we changing these things to fill that need? It doesn't need to be there. And you know what, DC? You've done this before. It's the best way to do it. Have your Elseworlds tales, right? Do your Watchmen. Do your Dark Knight Returns. Do those as Elseworlds. Even Killing Joke was an Elseworlds story. Do that. Aim that at a more mature audience, and then have your Vertigo books, but don't mess with your line of comics and don't dumb them down for kids. Just put out good comic book adventures. They're going to appeal to adults and they're going to appeal to children. It's
that simple.
It's always been like that. Why do we have to change it?
Well, the titles will include Mira, Tidebreaker, by Daniel Page and Stephen Byrne. And, get this, Super Sons by Ridley Pearson and Il Gonzalez. So, Super Sons already was an all-age book, and now I guess they're just going to designate it to, like, the kiddie section.
You know why? Because they'll take people like Pete Tomasi off the book. They'll take people like Carlo Barbieri off the book. They'll take people like us off the book so that they can afford, they'll pay somebody less money, and they're going to turn that line into the Marvel line.
Yeah, actually, that's what it sounds like. And another book, which the title is called Under the Moon, which I don't know whatever. Across the Black Label and Young lines, DiDio explained, we're trying to appeal to a wide range of fans. Not everyone is reading the same material, and so long as people want to read words and pictures together, gee, that sounds cool, we're going to find a way to reach those fans. We've always got to lead in terms of the content that we're creating. If you enjoy our characters, we're going to give you ways to enjoy them. They move the topic towards Vertigo, announcing the second year of the Sandman universe is on its way. Some of the Young Animal titles are also returning, including Gerard Way returning to Doom Patrol. So Vertigo's not officially back, but for some reason they're bringing these titles back when they could just be under whatever. So they're not bringing Vertigo back. Wait a minute.
Okay, so they're not bringing Vertigo back?
No, but the Vertigo titles, Sandman Universe and Young Animals and the Doom Patrol Gerard Way are coming back. So I guess they're just going to be in the DC General Universe, which is weird.
In the more adult universe.
Yeah.
So they're going to turn the DC Universe into like more of a Vertigo, like adult line of books.
Yeah, Dynamo says, so Vertigo isn't just canceled. Yeah, pretty much. James says, I really miss Tomasi writing Superman.
Pete Tomasi, to me, I said it at the con, he's one of the best, like, just straightforward superhero comic book writers.
Very good.
I think that DC has. He's not flashy or any of that other stuff, but I think, to me personally, give him the Bendis money. Put out double-page ads for Pete Tomasi. I think that guy has written more of the books that I've enjoyed since even before New 52,
Sticky Wicked just said something very profound. I don't know if it was intentional, but just analyze this for a second. He says, so they're making Depends for kids.
Yeah.
It's like, there's already diapers for kids. It's like you're making something that already appeals to children and then just designating that it's for kids.
Yeah. And like we've already established, between you and I and even the chat, that kids don't want that. They don't want to feel like, oh, these are the books that you're not supposed to read. You're supposed to read these crappy ones that are aimed at your age group. They're still going to want those edgier books.
Enjoy your baby comics. Yeah, it's a weird move.
Psychologically, it doesn't make any sense. Those kids are still going to want that edgier stuff.
Yeah, of course. They're gonna know. If a kid wants to read Batman, you're like, here's the kid Batman. They're going to be like, this isn't real Batman. I want real kid Batman. I want real Batman, not kid Batman. I got distracted because Sticky Wicked says, kids want pull-ups.
Hell yeah, they do. That'll be our new line of Hack Shack Studios publishing books. Pull-ups.
I want to make enamel pens. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I think they'd be neato. Silver on black or something. Tasteful,
classy.
The other news that I guess came out was talking about DC's DC Universe, DC's exclusive streaming service. They rolled out 3 shows this year, of course, Titans, Young Justice, and Doom Patrol. Titans got renewed for another season. The article I'm reading makes me...
I like that Titans got renewed for another season on their own network. We renewed our own TV show.
So Hack Shack is going to renew Black and White for another book.
Ooh, there's a statement.
Like, oh, I thought you were going to anyway. But what makes me laugh is that they lead it with... since launch September, it's rolled out 3 well-received series. Titans was not well-received, and we all know that. It's pretty much a meme. But, so, Titans got a new series. Young Justice, Outsiders, and Doom Patrol are still in the middle of their first seasons. But, 2019, we're going to see, I guess late 2019, Swamp Thing starring Andy Bean. I don't know who that is. And Crystal Reed from Gotham are going to come out. I guess it's a live action. And Stargirl, starring Breck Basinger.
Yeah, I think there's a still out with the costume and stuff.
And Joe McHale.
It looks pretty good. Joe McHale is awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be in Stargirl, so that'll be interesting. Are you talking about still for Swamp Thing or still
No, for that Stargirl. I think it's floating around the internet.
Interesting. I haven't seen any of it yet. And then DC Universe's first adult animated series is set to drop in the fall of 2019. Here's the thing. If you watched the Suicide Squad animated movie and you've watched any of the animated movies in the past 2 years, they're all very adult oriented. So it's not really their first adult animated thing, but I guess they're a series. It's Harley Quinn starring Kaylee Kuko and Lake Bell as Poison Ivy. It sounds like something I would have liked 10 years ago. Let's see what we got here. Doom Patrol, which I don't know if Doom Patrol came out yet, but the article talks about it.
Yeah, Doom Patrol. The comic or
the live action show?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the show's out.
I am curious about. Does anybody in the chat, by the way, is anybody subscribed to the DC streaming service? Because I actually don't. I don't know if you know anyone, or I don't know a single person who's subscribed to it yet.
I don't either.
Let's see what you guys are talking about. There's some weird things going on in animation. Yes, there is. They actually lowered the quality of animation lately, says Nunya Business. And Draken says, that's gotta be an April Fool's joke. Kaylee would not ever be cast as Harley Quinn. Well, she's doing the voice. I don't know if that matters. I don't recognize the name. Doom Patrol is good, says Nunya Business.
Yeah, actually, it's the only thing, I was going to say that it's the only thing that looked intriguing that I've seen that DC has put out for the streaming service.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. After a sizzle reel showcasing some of the live events sponsored by the service to honor Shazam, there's a motorcycle going by, and Batman's upcoming 18th birthday, Lee and 80s reiterated that the service will be free of charge to the public for 1 day. Woo! March 30th, in honor of the Cape Crusaders' 80th turn around the sun. So March 30th.
Mark your calendars.
That's the day that we should...
Wait a minute. March 30th?
March 30th. Wait a minute.
Oh, we're done.
No, it already passed.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
They didn't give you much time to figure it out.
Darn it, I wanted to binge watch Doom Patrol. Oh well. Lee also announced that as of April 2019, the DCU would offer a groundbreaking 20,000 plus comics to its subscribers, including issues available for 12 months after the release and the entire first season of Krypton. The sci-fi series drops April 5th.
Let's back up for a minute. Why is Jim Lee and Dan DiDio selling the streaming service? Don't they have people to do that? That's not comic books.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a valid point.
Why are those guys hawking that stuff?
They gotta earn that money. They gotta earn that Krypton money.
I guess they have enough time, after all the comic book stuff to start getting into streaming services.
Durakin says Kaylee, I cannot pronounce her name, I'm sorry, is the blonde chick from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
She's got like a non-voice too. She doesn't even have like an interesting voice. After the announcement, Lee expressed his excitement at the hugely increased amount of content the subscribers will receive. It's the ultimate digital library of content. 20,000 books. I figure it'll take like a year.
Wait a minute, now they're talking about books?
Yeah, because they added 20,000 digital comics to the service as well.
Oh, okay. Wait, so they can get comic books on the same streaming service as they can get those shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was kind of confused when they first said that, because I imagine it's really weird. Like when I think of watching things on a device, I don't really watch movies on like my phone or iPad. I think of like the TV. So imagine trying to like read the comic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It seems kind of strange.
Yeah. I thought they were two separate things.
I guess it's on the same streaming service. So I figure it'll take like a year. If you spent every awake hour reading comics, it's a lot of stuff. And then we're continually adding to it as we continue to publish comics. So it's a huge upgrade from what you guys are getting already. I'm very excited because it just means we're going to show people more of the connectivity between comics and other media adaptations that they inspire.
I understand now. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
If they
because what they're giving is like, hey, did you like this show you just watched? Well, here is the comic book that it was based on. You know what I mean? Like right in the same on the same show. So actually, it's not a bad idea. I don't know why Warner Brothers hasn't been doing that all this time, anyways. But it's not a bad idea.
It could work if they utilize it in an interesting way. I just think...
well, if they advertise the comics and don't just try to shoehorn the comic books, like if it's just as important of a part of the site as, like the shows themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'd have to treat it as an equal value entertainment.
Because people have said all the time, and we've said it here at the studio, after Batman Adventures, why wasn't there an advertisement for the Batman comic books? So now, I guess the idea is they have the streaming service, so they would advertise the comic books right alongside, the Doom Patrol show or whatever it is.
There is one thing that they say in this article that I think they wrote as a plus, but it really sounds like a giant insult. And it's about the, I guess fans at WonderCon got to see the trailer for Swamp Thing. But the way they described it, so... The director says it's designed to scare the daylights out of you. But this writer said the trailer evoked Blumhouse tones mixed with Southern Gothic, which makes it sound incredibly cheap. Because Blumhouse is associated with those, really kind of low-quality horror movies that come out every summer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have led with that if I was writing this, but I guess that was their opinion. Titans Season 2 guest stars officially announced. I don't know who any of these people are, but Jericho is showing up, Superboy, Deathstroke.
Jericho is going to be problematic. That's the guy that can jump into bodies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's his name? Deathstroke's gay son, is that right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And also
that's a very powerful character. I don't know.
Yeah, it's It's one of those powers that they always underplay, but when you think about it, is a pretty incredible power for any human to have.
Yeah, it's almost like intangibility, and then you can just become anybody or control anybody's body. And I think Marv and George were smart because I think he had to get eye contact.
That's right.
So
yes,
he can't just jump willy-nilly into another person's body.
That's too much. That's like godlike powers.
Right, but if he could do that, just imagine. So he actually has to kind of confront you and look you in the face to, control you.
Because you got to give some kind of foil to it.
Yeah, he has to have an Achilles heel. Otherwise, it is a really powerful character.
With some pretty crazy implications.
Yeah.
Dynamo says, Archie Bear, DC should be giving away free ash cans with the tickets to its movies. There's no excuse for them not giving out Shazam books.
I agree. Marvel was doing that early on, because I did a couple of their books. So I think the Spider-Man book, or the Spider-Man movie, the first one they did it, and I think it was the first X-Men movie they did it as well.
And you did, I'm trying to think... You did where was that? There's a General Mills Batman versus Superman that you did.
Yeah, that was, I think, that was a send-away, comic, right? That DC had in Serial.
Nunya Business says, yeah, Warner Brothers should have a theater-only ash can. That would be a nice perk. It would be cool. Speaking of the theater, the other big news is that the infamous Dark Phoenix movie just dropped a new trailer at WonderCon, and it's the first trailer, I guess, to get positive buzz. The movie has a lot stacked against it because test audiences were really brutal towards it.
As were we.
But apparently it did pretty good. I'm glad.
I don't want to see any of that stuff tank, but come on, we got to make some good movies here.
They also had a Q&A at WonderCon. This article from Deadline.com says, Dark Phoenix won't hit theaters until June 7th, but the film's reputation has taken a beating for months, with some of the harshest advanced criticism of any major superhero sequel since.
Ooh.
Well, the franchise's previous installment, X-Men Apocalypse. It was not clear, however, how much of that negative word was informed by genuine first-hand knowledge, or how much of it was early bird pile-on by haters. Can I just ask a question?
By haters.
There's this thing going around where it's like, I know that people are sheep and they do jump onto things, but Art, have you ever have you ever not seen something and then just said you didn't like it like that? Like you just heard there's bad word of mouth? Because I don't think that's as common as they try to portray it online.
If I do, I usually say, this is what I've heard.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Yeah.
Which is different than,
Yeah, than seeing it and then, say I saw it and it looked bad.
Dark Phoenix doesn't look too bad from what I've seen, says Jirakin. Oh, James Hayes says, will Art and Taylor be reviewing Shazam?
It's out, huh? God, I feel like I've been under a rock for the last 3 days. Wait,
I don't
it was
think
WonderCon.
it is yet.
No, it's out.
Are you serious?
I think it came out over the weekend, didn't it?
Oh my gosh, let me look it up. We have to go see it. Shazam. Darn it, Shazam's hard to look up because there's an app called Shazam. Shazam, April 4th.
Oh, okay. You're right. It comes out this weekend then.
So this weekend it shows up at April 4th all around at the local, and it's playing all day. Wow. It must be the premiere day because all the showings are kind of late.
Yes, we will do a review.
We'll do a review, an honest review of Shazam.
And quite frankly, I am looking forward to it because at the very least, it looks like the tone is a little bit more interesting than we've seen with the DC, movies.
I'm curious about it for sure. We were talking about it a lot at the con, actually. I think the strangest thing is just that whether it does tie into the universe or not, which I believe they said it did.
Well, they reference Superman, don't they, in the trailer?
I think so. By the way, Art, that's a killer Chang face. I'm looking at the screen right now.
Oh, cool.
Look at the shine on that metal, you guys.
Sheen shine.
He looks troubled, but contemplative.
This is just before the evilest of the evil.
All hell breaks loose right after this scene.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be hard, like, if you're working on the stream in the next scene, because it's gonna be a major spoiler, I just realized.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much more.
We can,
the show.
yeah, because we're like, I know it's cool you guys to see the whole show getting built, but you're also gonna see, like, the best parts of the book before you can read it.
Well, maybe the only way that they could tell is if they watch all the streams and then they piece them all together.
That's true.
So they're still kind of fragmented, and it's not a coherent narrative.
That is true. So, Dark Phoenix time.
Yes. Don't you think that chick looks like Boy George?
You will not stop saying it, and it's true. I watched her in Game of Thrones and watched her grow up into the giant of a woman that she is today.
What do you mean by giant?
She's tall. She's like over 6 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
She's a giant. And her American accent isn't very good. Anyway, so with the Disney acquisition of Fox, Dark Phoenix can be viewed as a lame duck entry. Wow, this article's kind of biased already. In a short timer superhero universe that will soon be reconsidered, revamped, recast, and relaunched. So the movie has a first-time director, longtime X-Men screenwriter Simon Kinberg, and a second-hand story. Which, this is unfair, because they say, oh, it has a second-hand story, like it's a bad thing. But
what does that mean?
Because they said the reason it's a secondhand story is it was adapted already in X-Men Last Stand. But that wasn't a direct adaptation of the Dark Phoenix story. And, like, what about Spider-Man? Like, that movie's been remade 1 million times, literally, from the same origin story. So it's really kind of unfair to, like, say, oh, it's a story that's already been told. Because it kind of has, but it doesn't look that similar. I don't know.
It doesn't look similar at all.
Like, yeah, it's just that it's the Dark Phoenix. Like, the storyline itself looks different. It had a fallback release date. It was originally slotted for last November. The last film also sapped the energy out of the fan base, and reportedly it's cast as well.
Is that the one with Poe Dameron as the villain? Was that the one where he was Apocalypse or whatever?
Yeah, that was him.
That was really bad.
That movie has no redeeming qualities. Dark Phoenix tells the classic 1980s tale from the pages of Marvel Comics that may be the most revered epic in Marvel 80s year. What? Maybe the most revered epic in Marvel's 80 years of publishing. The story focuses on Jean Grey, Sophie Turner, the X-Men characters whose vast powers may surge beyond those of any other mutant on Earth after a space mission goes awry. However, this is written really bad deadline. I hope this is a legit website. After a space mission goes awry, however, Jean's powers threaten to consume her and the entire world. With her, if she cannot find a way to control their dark appetites. It's the 12th film. Wow. It's the 12th film in Fox's venerable X-Men franchise dating back to Bryan Singer's X-Men 2000. I didn't know there was 12 movies. The panel began with...
I wonder if they consider the Wolverine movies and all those as well.
Yeah, you're right, because that makes sense now. The panel began with writer-director Simon Kinberg and producer Hutch Parker, later joined by a half-dozen cast members who both made comments that were candid and even contrite regarding the lapse of the franchise that turns 19 years old this summer. You let us know where we got it wrong, Kinberg said at one point. Okay. Parker, while praising the classic X-Men comics, admitted the franchise stumbled when it didn't conform to the source material. So they're gonna preemptively trash the other movies before theirs comes out? You think that ours is bad. Let us tell you about how bad the other movies were. That's a great move. The franchise stumbled when it didn't conform to the source material. The underlying material is just so good, and frankly, it's better than what we've been as storytellers in some cases. This is a film that aspires to try to tackle the potential of all of that while honoring the legacy and the characters. With all of that as a preamble, it was easy to expect the worst when the arena lights went down. The new footage filled the screen. Instead, a funny thing happened. The 10-minute sequence, they showed 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the movie. The response is very good. Crowds cheered enthusiastically for action-packed scenes, which were brisk, evocative, and intense. There was humor and conflict. Team unity and character traits were revealed through action. Team division and inner conflict were also communicated subtlety. To avoid mild spoilers, skip the 2 paragraphs. Okay, so I don't know if you want me to read this scene. I'll leave it be for now, but I guess, long story short, they kind of trashed the previous movies, and then there was a good audience response.
So they trounced the previous movies, but this one, and this is all based on the viewing at the WonderCon this past weekend, right?
Yeah, so the viewing was positive this time, but all the viewings before, like when we covered this last time, have been like they've lambasted this movie.
Okay.
So I guess they were just responding to the negative press prior. They also have a new poster. I'm going to show you guys real quick. So they call this poster the comic book inspired poster that was revealed at WonderCon.
That doesn't look like a comic book at all.
Yeah, what do you think of it, Art?
I don't think it looks like a comic book poster, for one, and two, it looks more like something like to advertise the Flash, because it's all these blurred images and the reds and yellows look very Flash, and I'm actually surprised, because usually Hollywood stuff is done where you can see the actors or actresses. You know, you can see their faces because that's a marketing aspect.
Yeah.
This just looks like a lot of Photoshop, like heavy Photoshop over an image, like a photograph. Because I don't even know what all those X's are that are floating all over.
Yeah, these.
And are those like little skulls or something on the bottom?
They're really like poorly done. And also whoever traced this image, like they cut this tooth short and it looks really weird.
Yeah, it looks like it's cutting into the lip. Actually, you know what this looks like? If any kind of comic book images come to mind, it's like a Bill Sienkiewicz kind of tribute. But I wouldn't say this is indicative of comics. You know what I mean? Like just that one artist, which is Sienkiewicz, and that's more painter. You know, that's more illustrative than comic book.
Would you like to watch the new trailer?
Sure.
I think it's short. It's only 2 minutes. Okay, we'll watch this real quick once through. We won't spend too much time on this.
So this isn't the previous one.
Yeah, okay. This is the brand new trailer, I guess.
Okay.
I'll turn up the sound a little bit.
So Boy George is sad.
Yeah. Did I turn on the sound all the way? Oh, it's muted. Or not.
That's pretty cool.
And if you stop fighting that force inside you,
I wonder if we got muted by YouTube. I don't think so, though.
he will possess the very power of a god.
Oh, okay. So they do the space origin thing. Spoiler. I don't know what the implications really are in this.
Oh, they don't understand what they fear and what they fear. We seek
I also don't know who that character is supposed to be.
Ooh.
It's your fault, Charles. I tried to protect her.
I'm scared.
This does look better.
It's definitely a better cut of the trailer itself.
The girl dies. She's still Jean. We can still help her.
Sometimes who want to believe people are something that they are not.
Ooh. Ooh.
Who they are.
I have to be careful because YouTube's trying to bump us, by the way. So I'm just going to pause for a second.
Let's pause and talk, yeah.
Um,
No, without the sound right now, I mean, this looks a million times better than that previous trailer.
yeah, visually, I think it's a step up. Sierra Whiskey says Magneto was trying to crush his own helmet to get out of the movie.
It's too late.
Phonics.
Yeah, I think they actually started showing this in movie theaters, or at least parts of this. I don't remember ever seeing that space scene though. So that was the new trailer.
Well, there you go. Actually, that looks like something worthy of a ticket price. Yeah,
It looked, I don't know, it looked better.
looked a lot better.
I don't. Are you done with the X-Men franchise though? Because I'm kind of at the point where I'm.
Well,
just, like, signed
I'm
off.
done with this X-Men franchise because I know that, Marvel Studios, the Disney Marvel Studios, are now going to start doing them. Right? Was this the last X-Men movie
I guess this is
with Fox?
This is supposedly the very last one. Yeah, before it does have a weird context to it. I do kind of agree with the article on that point where they said it kind of has like the stink of failure in it because everybody knows it's about to be revamped.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for the actors because of that, but I don't know. The last movie was pretty bad. This one actually looks more interesting.
Well, I'm kind of hoping that I don't know, that there's some kind of finale with this one, that will bring all the movies into some kind of, coherent ending, maybe? I don't know.
There's not really like a satisfying way to close it at this point because I feel like she as a character was introduced not even that long ago as far as like the movies are concerned. You know what I mean? Like she still feels so new to me.
10 years.
But it doesn't.
Is that what they said? No, it was longer than 10 years.
It
right?
was, but like this incarnation of her, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's definitely a way better trailer.
Yeah, it looks like a definite enhancement of the last. So I might see this one before I was totally checked out. Because the big effect on the last one was that she throws these cop cars in the air, right? It's like, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and you've seen it in like every movie.
But pulling up the train, the way she did at the end, and I don't know, I'm still a sucker for like when Magneto like makes weapons levitate and fire.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It doesn't look like the worst X-Men movie they've made.
Should we start wrapping?
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
In a bow?
The very same. So,
So,
what haven't we shown in Photoshop?
what haven't we?
Oh, we didn't show this one.
Oodles of Doodles.
Some of the doodles at WonderCon this past.
I'm trying to hold my end up here against Aaron Lepresti, the great Aaron Lepresti.
This is, of course, Lepresti right here, and Art tackled Poison Ivy over here.
Yeah.
I think it turned out pretty cool.
I think I hold my own.
I believe it was Dynamo. This might be a good final question. Asked, how did you think this WonderCon compared to the WonderCons past that you've attended?
There was a better vibe, and I'm not sure if it was a better vibe because of the CGers that were there, or this is really the first time you and I have done an official show together, right?
Yeah, it is. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there were a lot of different elements to this show, so maybe it was all those, and just the fans and the people coming up were just amazing at the show. So I thank each and every one of you for coming up and supporting us and doing all that. So
thank you guys. Thanks to all the new subscribers that joined us for this stream. We do this at least 3 times a week. Be sure to hit the bell so you're always notified when we go live on this channel. And join up on the newsletter if you haven't already. It's the best way to keep up to date on con appearances and everything that we do.
Is the newsletter in the...
Yes, all the links are in the
link.
description. The newsletter is the 5th link in the description. And if you are thinking of submitting your artwork for portfolio review, which art is open for now, you can join that in the link right below.
Yes, and we still have black and white in demand, so check it out. There's a few Oodles books left, so if you haven't picked up one of them, do yourself a favor, pick them up, because that's it. Once they're done, they're done. And thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We had a lot of fun here, and thanks for all the super chats, you guys. Much appreciated.
And leave us a comment, anything that we talked about in the chat. Give us your opinions. We do read the comments after the video is done airing live, so be sure to join the conversation even after the live stream has ended.
So we'll see you soon.
Bye.